All right. Thank you guys for bearing with us. This is Wrestling on the Rocks, coming live from San Diego and Tucson, Arizona. So this isn't going to be the most visually delightful program this time around. But hopefully we're still able to have a decent time. Kevlar should be joining us any second. If I heard right, he's sniffling.
I'm here.
You did? Kevlar's live.
Yeah, it's just the disembodied voice for this episode.
Yep.
You can be like the voice of God. Yeah. Just speaking spooky ghost talk anytime.
Yeah.
I'm the higher power. It was Kevlar all along.
Listen to me.
Oh yeah, this is a tough one to watch. I can see what it's doing on the thing.
Oh, is it like? Let me put on mine. I'm curious to see if I'm really the main picture because I'm really depressed.
I want to be honest with you too. As far as like the keeping track of the chat and stuff, that if my stream starts to go low, I'll have to duck out of the Twitch on the side here. So with all of that in mind, let's
Oh my, yeah.
Turn it down, Clump.
You want it?
Oh man, I don't want to be them.
Dude, it's all Clump today.
Yeah. That is upsetting.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be our number one complaint.
Yeah.
Too much
This
Clump.
is your show. This is your spotlight.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted me to I was thinking of cosplaying as wrestlers, so we'll start with King Kong Bundy.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Done.
Easy, just fuck up shaving.
Yeah, were you going for the Lurks? Hey, oh wait, is that one of us? Is Lurks one of us or no?
Not me.
Not one of me. Hey, Lurks, thanks for tuning in. Go ahead and give us a follow. Turn off your notifications. Never come back. Totally fine. Thanks for tuning in. We are going to get started here. We are going to start off. It's a little bit different. Usually we got a whiskey on the rocks. Today, what do you got there, Kevlar?
I'm drinking the OG Crown.
Oh, regular Crown?
Yep.
Hold it up. Yeah. Technical difficulties galore this time around. I've got, being in San Diego, I've got the Tony Gwynn 394 Pale Ale.
Nice.
All right,
I have Method Glass Cleaner.
Oh, there you go. Finally taking a tip from us.
Yeah. It's minty. I also have water. Just water and Hydro Flask.
Very good. Water is typical for you, I feel like.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's get into it a little bit. Hey, want to break down some of NXT? Like I said, I didn't get to watch as much of it as I was hoping to. From what I saw, the Viking Raiders came out with their tag titles. They were looking to give them up. And then as William Regal was taking them, the Street Profits came out, and what happened then?
Yeah. So it was cool. I didn't like that they changed the name to the Viking Raiders here because it was kind of nostalgic and nice that they were still called the War Raiders on NXT.
Yeah.
But they did at least explain it, which is kind of cool. I appreciated Mauro Ranallo saying that these names mean this, which is cool. Like real briefly, he gave it something.
What did he say?
He said that it was based they were named it for Eric the Red and Ivar, which is a figure from Norse mythology.
Oh, so talking about their new names.
Yes.
Not just the name of a Viking Raider.
Well, they said it came right after a really funny line where Mauro Ranallo said, "They want to be known as the Viking Raiders," and I don't know if they do because this is the third name thus far. I'm losing count.
Yeah. What do they want?
Sure. And then they still have the titles. They came out. They actually talked, which was cool. They called out William Regal, who came out. Always awesome hearing Regal's music.
How were they on the mic?
not bad. It was a really quick thing. It was just a quick promo, you know. Honestly, I didn't pay as much attention because I was focused on them talking. Also, you know, it's very possible a plane flew over me during that moment, so I couldn't hear them at all.
Is that an airplane going over you right now, Clump?
That is probably an A-10.
Good. I'm glad for that. I'm glad you're the one that people see the best here.
Yeah. And another one. They're doing drills. We're a very patriotic podcast. We support our good armed forces.
They're doing drills.
If not for the proximity of the base to my house, I would not have got this house for so ungodly cheap. But
yeah, and then you moved in and brought the price down even lower.
Yep.
There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I like to bring the quality to a neighborhood of somebody who cooks meth, but without actually cooking meth.
It's a different kind of backyard barbecue.
Yeah.
Blue Boyd's concerned about your look today, Clump. It's because he's looking for King Kong Bundy. He's doing a little Bundy cosplay.
We're cosplaying. Totally deliberate. Not at all. Due to me trying to shave and screwing up because you called me in the middle of shaving.
Yeah, does that startle you?
I'm going to say that. So yeah. So
I dread
that. That was fun.
We do have anybody who's watching, we're having technical peculiarities today. So
yes.
You're going to see a lot of Bray Wyatt influence. So the Street Profits come out and they demanded that they put up the titles for because they were trying to relinquish them.
Exactly. Actually, initially what they said was, you're giving up the titles because we beat you, because you don't want to defend them against us. And it was kind of like a pretty decent, kind of heelish promo, even though they're way over.
But they didn't win.
Yeah, and that's why I think also kind of, to me, it did make sense for them to say, given how over they are, because it doesn't sound like a face, you know?
Okay.
Sounds kind of shitty. But the Viking Raiders got really upset. You could see them kind of shaking, and they had dropped the mics already, getting ready to fight, and then the larger bearded dude, because I think of him as Hanson, not as whatever it is now, yelled out, "Make the match," but you couldn't hear it, and then the other guy grabs the mic and says, "Make the match" to William Regal, so they announced that the main event for tonight's show would be the Viking Raiders versus the Street Profits for the NXT Tag Team titles.
Huh.
And then they go to the ring.
And then the winner relinquishes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, well that's the end. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
We had about 40 more minutes of stuff happening.
Okay.
Yeah. Then they went to commercial. Which was fun. And then they had.
I'm not looking for you to review the commercials, man.
Yeah, the commercials they had a great one for Dinty Moore Stew. Dinty Moore Stew. That's how you get a figure like me.
You know, like that juicy fruit gummies. So juicy. Oh. Juicy fruit gummies.
Or Stacker too.
So what happened? What was the next match they had?
So they said the next match was going to be Cesar Bononi versus Keith Lee, but then they immediately came into Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish talking about why Roderick Strong had, disagreed with them, and it was funny. They did it fairly well. Did
you call him Robert Strong?
No, Roddy.
All right.
Roddy Strong.
I'll let it go.
They called him Roddy, which also I think makes him sound like a kid.
Yeah, you called him Robert.
No. I did not call him Robert.
Let's get a playback.
Robert Strong.
Yeah. Okay.
But while he's talking to the interviewer during the segment, you see like people in suits running behind him, and he kind of keeps interrupting him. So it seems, honestly, it felt like someone had gotten past like a barricade and was getting into a shot. But then Roderick Strong comes up, and he says, "You're right. we're better together. And he hands Adam Cole a flip-flop that has, like, blood dots on it. Like, and the best part is Kyle O'Reilly literally goes before the cut, what did you do? They're, like, laughing, but I was like, it just made me think, like, did Roderick Strong just kill Matt Riddle? That's amazing.
Or it's really bad athlete's foot. They all got together.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable to get athlete's foot, MRSA, UTIs in this sport. You know, other horrible diseases.
What? I don't know that UTIs are synonymous with pro wrestling.
No, they are.
Just me?
Yeah.
Just like hearing Kevin laugh. Not seeing it, just hearing the laughter.
Yeah. A little circle.
Yeah. So then we got Cesar Bononi versus Keith Lee. Cesar Bononi is, I'd never seen him before. He's from Brazil, 6'9", giant dude. And then Keith Lee came out. I had not seen too much of Keith Lee in NXT, and I loved his entrance and the fans chanting, "Go bask in his glory," but like to that dun 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 dun. So they're chanting, "Go bask in his glory," which is really cool.
Why? Why?
Because that's like on his gear it says "Bask in my glory."
Oh.
Yeah, which is cool because he's like giant, 6'5", 320-pound, built like a tank guy. Like not like he's got muscle fat.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like they make a good tag team. Glory and Bononi.
Shit, yeah.
That's kind of like the old like apples and bananas song. Glory and Bononi.
I have glue. But
plus it rhymes with baloney, so that's good.
The match was baloney, though.
That's good.
I mean, Keith Lee was great. It was really just a squash match. It was like 3 minutes, and like Keith Lee just slapping the shit out of him. Like he does like a double-handed slap that was better than any slap I've seen Walter do because it just like bam. And it really showcased Keith Lee's really athletic. He did that frog hop over as Bononi's running into the ropes. He would just jump over him, which is really freaky. One with a spirit bomb, which is just a sit-down power bomb, and a quick pin. Quick match, good match. Makes Keith Lee look really good.
Good. Good.
Nice.
There's been a lot of hype behind him.
I hope so, yeah. Then they had Shayna Baszler will fight Io Shirai. That was announced by one of the backstage personnel. In the middle of that, the Forgotten Sons just kind of bust by her because they're upset. They're going to go talk to William Regal because the Street Profits, who they beat, are going to go get a tag title match.
Oh, okay.
So they just like burst in and you just hear one of them yell, "Regal!" But there's a great in the middle of the promo, one of them goes, "No, it's a mistake. He won't forget," or something to that effect. They just made me giggle because it was just really cheesy.
Good.
Yeah. Then we had Kona Reeves versus Kushida.
Oh, nice. How was that?
I don't like Kona Reeves.
I'm trying to picture who that even is. I'm gonna be honest with you.
He's a big, giant dude from Hawaii. His persona and everything is that he's the best. It's like EC3, but he's from Hawaii.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, I was not a fan of him the first couple times I saw him.
Yeah, the song's really bad.
His song is bad?
The song's bad.
Yeah, they've been good on that lately.
Yeah. But Kushida came in, and it was even more so connected to Back to the Future than last time he came out with the vest, with the denim shirt underneath, with the shorts, had wristwatch on his wrist tape that he kept pointing to. He had the future glasses, and they kept making references to Back to the Future just over and over and over again.
Yeah, I saw a little video they did of him where they said, like, we've come back to the future with Kushida, and I was like, oh, man.
But, good match. It was another really quick match. It made Kushida look really, really good. In the middle of it, what was it? In the middle of it, Drew Gulak just walks out onto the stage, the entrance ramp, and just watches the match. And they make eye contact. Evidently, there's some heat between Kushida and Drew Gulak on Twitter. They just kind of stared at each other. Kushida gets the win. It was good. Mauro Ranallo busting out hip hop references in the middle of it was really good, and I think he should do that constantly.
I think he does.
Did you almost just call him Marty McFly?
Marty Ranallo.
Yeah.
Mauro McFly.
Yeah, you definitely called him. Marty.
As always, I sound drunker than either of you ever are.
That's true.
Yeah.
Pump's the drunkest one here, and he's sober.
Right.
So Kushida came out good. So after that, was that the tag match after that?
And no, after that we had Vanessa Bourne versus Jessie. Just Jessie. It was in the Mae Young Classic. And that was the thing I thought. I don't know why I thought of this, but I don't like when talent has one name. If you're gonna give him one name, give him like a cool ass name, like the Destroyer, Undertaker. But when it's just like Ted or Jesse in this case, who cares?
It feels weird.
And it made me think of like old Divas wrestling, where every diva only had one name. Like they were one name. We're not investing enough to give you a last name. I'm sorry, it doesn't really matter.
Okay,
like the Nitro Girl.
Yeah, like a Nitro Girl. That one from the left came out and performed.
Spice.
Yeah.
Well, Kelly had one name, but twice.
Just write it Kelly squared. Quick match. Vanessa Bourne won. Like, just really quick match. And then let's see what after that. Oh, then the tag match finally, and pretty quickly in the match. First, the Forgotten Sons came out and interrupted, so the bell rings, the match is over. Then Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch come in, and it's just a big fight in the ring. Everyone clears out and runs away, and at that point, then the Viking Raiders take their titles, put them down, and walk away.
Wait,
and
what?
Take their power. Yeah, they then relinquish them.
Did they win?
No, it was a no contest. Interference. Well, it would have been a DQ win, but I mean, no, there wasn't any one interfering on anyone's behalf. It was just like a run-in.
So wait, it was the Forgotten Sons came in and just ruined the match?
Yeah, and then Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch immediately thereafter. Which, why didn't we have Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch have a promo and back go, grr, 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 we're pissed that we're not in this match?
Did they even get much of a match out?
No. When it came up, it was about 7 minutes left, and they always have 3 or 4 minutes of commercial, so it was maybe a 4-minute match.
Yeah, how was the commercials?
Great.
Oh, that eerie
They're
idiot.
gonna do a documentary about Mark Henry, which I'm super excited for. I cannot tell you
already out.
They've done a documentary about Mark Henry that's already out that I haven't watched yet, but I'm excited for to watch.
That's the one, yeah.
Tonight.
It came out months ago. You should check it out. It was really good.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you're paying attention to all the commercials. So, what was the point then of having the whole thing and then to have them not even have much of a match? Was it just so they could set up the next 3 teams as a triple threat for it or something?
I believe so. If I had to throw something out there, that seems like the route, but I can can get it because it doesn't make the Viking Raiders look weak. You know, and I think that's a big part of this is you don't want them to lose and then go up to the roster where they're already winning and looking fairly decent, because then it's going to make it, you know, imagine how bad Lucha House Party's going to look then.
Yeah, that's true. Well, hopefully Lucha House Party will win the NXT title, so.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on to Raw. Let's just get to it. Unless there's any more commercials we needed to talk about, Clump. No?
We got a takeover happening.
Takeover? It was supposed to be June, but didn't it get moved?
Yeah, I thought so, because I don't know when it is. Wouldn't the next takeover be? What pay-per-view would it be? Because Backlash, I believe, is gone now, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but they were gonna do a takeover outside of one of the pay-per-views. They were gonna do that San Jose one in June, but I believe that got canceled. So, the next one probably won't be until SummerSlam.
Fun.
Which will be in Canada. They had the logo for it. It's got antlers and stuff. It's really racist to Canada.
It could have been worse. It could have been like the logo and then pouring Crown Royal over it.
Yeah, again, looking for a sponsorship. Crown Royal. Guys.
Maple syrup.
Sponsorship or cease and desist. Let's see. Raw kicked off with Miz TV. Which he says he quickly breaks down Money in the Bank and his match with Shane. He just got right to it and right out of it. And then he announced Roman as being one of the 4 people who can use the wild card rule. The way he said that
breaks the wild card rule they set up.
Kind of, yeah. But then the other thing is, he said he's one of the 4 people who can use the. Does that mean only 4 people can use it? Because I don't think that's true.
Yeah, but they said it was one time. They said it was like a limited thing to draw excitement. Like Vince said that in the ring that these people can come one time, and then now we have Roman twice.
No, it wasn't they come one time. It was that you could have up to 4 people go between the shows sometimes, but not all the time. But it also sounded like, you didn't get to just do it a bunch. But then they made it sound like this one, like it's a set 4 people, which makes no sense.
The wild card rule is just, I
hate it.
Yeah, and I feel like most wrestling podcasts or YouTube channels are quickly going to become just talking about how it feels like a game when your dad or a babysitter's making it up as they go, and you ask a question like, whoa, okay, so the rule is this. Like, you just don't know it. Yeah. So they're just throwing it out as they go.
I don't know if I have the same experience with my babysitters as it sounds like you had. I don't want to know about too many other rules as they set up throughout the night.
The biggest one was don't tell parents about it. Quiet time.
Oh yeah, because it's your fault.
Yeah.
So I think the wild card rule is becoming a little convoluted and a little hard to follow.
A little bit.
Also, I do agree that Crown Royal is just watered down maple syrup in that I pour it on my pancakes. So.
Yes.
So after that, Roman comes out to a lot of boos. I was actually surprised by that. He was getting booed when he first came out.
Well, and I think that's because
hold on. I got to answer this question. Jamtown wants to know why I'm not on the screen instead of the big yellow K, which is a great question, except for it's coming from my computer, and since it's me in the call, then it's making it hard for me to put Kevlar in the bottom, because essentially they're the 2 people I'm talking to. So I can't. I thought about that too, putting him in the corner as the ominous voice, but he's front and center as an ominous voice.
No one puts me in the corner.
That's a good point.
But I think they were booing Roman half because it's Roman and half because the wild card, and they're sick of it, and it's stupid. They should have just kept Roman on Raw.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him coming back and forth, although I'm glad that at least he showed up to Smackdown for the second time of the 4 weeks that he's been there.
Or again, and I've said this over and over again, invest in the talent you have. So many people that are on Raw have just like putting like 5 people up front all the time, and now in both shows again.
Yeah, we hyper focus.
Yeah, that's what's annoying me about those vignettes that they're showing. You know, they wasted a good like half hour just showing vignettes that they would show during the kickoff shows. And it's like, man, you guys could have done a couple matches, showed somebody that you don't normally show. Instead, you know, we're got the life history of Roman.
Yeah, I think I put a mention in there too that there was a. Let me see, where is it? Yeah, I make a note of it when the Roman vignette comes up because at that point we'd seen Roman a couple of times, and so it felt like, do we need more TV time for Roman background?
Yeah.
That's true. Roman's got super wet hair.
It's if he were a superhero, his superpower would be perpetually wet hair.
I will say that at one of my works in New York, a manager knew that I watched wrestling, and her husband watched wrestling, and she goes, "Who's the guy who's always wet?" And I was like, "Roman," and she said, "Yes." So we knew who we were talking about right away.
It makes me think of in Coming to America when
the Soul Glow.
With Soul Glow and all the parents on the couch, you see the stains on the back of the couch.
Yep.
We should make a Soul Glow Roman shirt.
Yeah, I agree. Let me see here.
Did Usi Glow?
Yeah, Usi Glow.
That's how this segment felt. Just shit.
Let me see. So Roman comes out, the crowd's booing, and like you said, I think people are just kind of tired of where his character is going so fast. In that it's not growing. He was gone. Yeah. We thought we were gonna get a different Roman. We got the same old stuff. Let's see. The crowd started singing "Walk with Elias" while he was out there, which I thought was pretty cool. And then Roman cut a promo on Elias and asked for the new Miz. He was doing this whole weird thing with the Miz. And then Miz went on a tirade about Shane.
Give me what I want.
Yeah, give me what I want. Give me what I want. Then then Shane comes out with Bobby Lashley and Elias, who attacked them both from behind. What did you think of the opening segment? I was glad it wasn't as long as it could have been, but I'm not really feeling the idea of Roman and Miz talking to each other a lot.
I don't either. I think what I've noticed here that kind of bugged me is that I think Miz can be a face, but I don't think he needs to be this like super valiant baby face.
I don't buy into him as a face at all.
Exactly. And when he was being kind of like smarmy and saying to Roman like, "Oh yeah, we could do a collaboration," and Roman said he's gonna punch him, I kind of like thought of that as like, I don't like this character at all.
Yeah.
He's good as being an asshole.
Yeah, I think the opening segment was flat and boring and made me not interested in the rest of the show, truthfully.
It did not set up the show well, no. Thanks for stopping by, Jammin'.
You beast.
Yeah, he's got to run, but hopefully he comes back and hopefully he follows and turns off the notifications so we don't bother his life any.
Fair point.
But let's see. Oh yeah, he said, "What up, Clump?"
Yeah.
You remember Jammin'?
I do.
Yeah, I didn't think it set up the show very well for me. I wasn't excited about the Miz being what he was. I am super not into Shane and Miz more and more. It's not getting better. I thought we were done with it, and here it keeps going.
It feels weird that a majority SmackDown feud starts Raw.
Yeah, it's all SmackDown people. And then Bobby Lashley and Elias, who I guess is part of the wild card rule now too. He goes wherever he wants. Because he's a SmackDown guy who's only been on Raw for the past couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
The crowd was super behind Elias, but I couldn't tell if that was because they like singing or because they like him.
They are in England.
I know.
Yeah.
England is crazy.
The best chance.
Yeah.
I will say I think it might have to do with his Liverpool stunt. Because in the Premier League, everyone hates Liverpool.
Okay.
And Man City, oh yeah, they beat out Liverpool to win the Premier League. And that night, Elias shows up with the Man City jersey in Liverpool and just talks mad crap.
Nice.
So I think they kind of backed him with that. Like, Liverpool's like the hated team. They're like the Cowboys.
Yeah, shout out to Cowboy fans who are watching. Well, that could be. It could be why they were super behind him, because I was kind of surprised at how much they were behind him. He did do something. Remember I talked a while back about Elias, the Walk with Elias move, where he walks across the ropes. So he kind of jumps down to this weird, like, arm thing that I didn't really like. But I didn't know if he could turn it into anything else. Well, this week he did. He turned it into the Meteora, where he comes at him with both his knees, knocks him down.
Pretty solid.
Really solid. Great use of the walking ropes thing. I think that was awesome, and I think that's the move. I think keep it like that.
Nice.
Let's see. I was also surprised the crowd was getting incredibly loud anticipating Roman's tag. Shane pulls Roman down, and the match ends in a DQ. And then they all started booing. It was like the crowd was getting super antsy to actually see Roman, which was kind of neat. Lashley, Shane, and Elias all attack The Miz. Oh, I was thinking of the next match. I was like, what? I thought Miz wasn't allowed in the match, and then I realized it's the next night.
That was the next night.
Yeah.
The next night.
Yeah. Roman intervenes with a dive.
In case you missed it the first time.
Yeah.
He did a good tope.
What?
When he dove over, that's called a tope. It was a good move.
Yeah, he has a good toppy.
Nope.
So they all attack the Miz. Roman intervenes. Shane attacks Roman and Miz. Miz comes in with a chair and Shane runs away. That's been kind of the nature of this whole thing, is constantly Miz with the chair and Shane running away. A little tired of it, but hopefully we get the end of it this weekend. As this is the go home show before the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
By the way, I think I figured out the Bray Wyatt thing. I think we're past that now. It's still not going to be visually a delight, because you have to see mostly Clump.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we're going to do the best we can. Hopefully our audio is coming in clear enough. After that, they showed a vignette for Seth versus AJ, which was talking a lot about the Brock match, which I thought was crazy, because it was a great video package, but it reminded me of how bad that match actually was.
Yeah, and that's all they have. That's all they keep going to is Seth beat Brock, acting like it was one of the greater matches of the year, and, it was definitely one of the worst matches of the year.
Yeah, easily. I mean, if it weren't for the fact that it was Brock in a title, it would have been otherwise forgotten.
Yeah.
I think it would be an opportunity to make fun of that, like to make him seem like all you did was hit someone in the dick and kick him in the head 3 times.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a different conversation when you have that with a principal. Like, the way you say that. Like, it sounds like, oh, you're dumb, but then you're in the principal's office trying to defend your kid, and you're like, well, all he did was kick that other kid in the dick and kick him in the head a few times.
Well, he beat him up, and he was bullying him beforehand.
Yeah, he was beating him up for minutes. Let's see, after that we got a Strowman promo where he recapped the Sami Zayn murder and how he regrets that it didn't murder him.
Cube him. He wanted him to become a cube.
Yeah, most people don't live through that.
Well, maybe Braun Strowman's like a big fan of Minecraft, and he wanted to make Sami Zayn a Minecraft block.
Or murder. Murdercraft, perhaps.
Murdercraft.
Then some little dude out of nowhere says Shane wants to see Braun in his office, so they cut away. And then it goes to commercial, comes back, and Sammy and Shane are yelling at each other, or Sammy's yelling at Shane, and then Braun comes in. The three of them kind of have a minute or two cutting promos on each other there, and I thought it actually went really well. Sammy's just so good and natural, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then it results in a Braun versus Sammy Falls Count Anywhere match for the spot in the Money in the Bank match. And Braun versus Drew has officially been canceled because they promoted that match earlier in the night.
Yep. No, Sammy is really good at hearing a promo, and I think, and later on, I think the move's good to get Sammy more time on camera. We need that. I like that he used the term toxic culture because it was something that I like you just like my ears like I was like I like this, I like that term.
You like toxic culture?
I just think it fit that, like it was a different way of saying that than I would expect to hear on Raw.
Yeah,
but it fit the character, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it was great. I was also thinking, with as big of a Sammy fan as I've been, really excited that they're actually utilizing him in the wild card rule the most. Besides like Roman, although Sammy's showing up on both, and Roman doesn't seem to be completely doing that, but it was just cool because it lets me know that they have faith in a guy that I believe in too. So hopefully we get some good stuff out of it.
Very true.
What do you think about the idea of doing a Braun versus Sammy Falls Count Anywhere match?
I think it's a good match. I think it is a match that evens it out a lot because I think Sammy proved a while back that he's just a scrappy fighter, so it could be any match and it'd be fine. It sets up what's going to happen well. I think it's a good, brutal sounding match. It fits the story, and I think it kind of, for people who aren't super familiar with Sammy, it is something where maybe he can win, but also seems really scary. Like, ooh.
Yeah, and it comes off like kind of conniving. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, see, I didn't like the way that it was set up. I didn't like that Sammy was the one asking for the match.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why it came off conniving. Because like, why would Sammy want a Falls Count Anywhere match against a dude like Braun? And you're like, well, because Sammy, like you said, is scrappy and smart.
Yeah, but I mean, I would have liked it more if they went. It was more of a back and forth, where Braun says, "Hey, I want Sammy." Sammy says, "Okay, Falls Count Anywhere for the spot in Money in the Bank or something." Instead, Sammy just asks for everything, and they're like, "Okay."
Well, yeah, because Braun's saying okay to it. Because Shane keeps looking at Braun like, "You want that?" And he's like, "Okay, you want that?" And he's like, "All right." Shane, in that point, was just the conduit where Braun and Sammy were the ones going back and forth, and Braun came off a little bit dumb enough to fall for Sammy's tricks, but he also didn't come off like dumb, like it was too obvious, you know? It just made Sammy to me seem pretty clever.
Yeah, but I just would like Braun to be the one saying, "Hey, I want Sammy. I want him in a match," and then Sammy say, Falls Count Anywhere, spot in Money in the Bank, and then
and then start making it a whole thing. Yeah, I can see that because Braun wanted to murder him.
Because who's ever challenged Braun?
Sammy did before in the past in that other horrible run they had.
And that was a good series.
Awful.
I think after that, they minimized the number of people challenging Braun, because even like Roman didn't like. I can't think of Roman directly challenging Braun. They tried to make him into this monster, and it worked.
Yeah, they wanted no one to challenge him at this point. It doesn't seem like nobody's willing to challenge him so much as nobody cares anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel bad. I did read that he might be wrestling with an injury.
Yeah, because he wore a thing on his arm. That was, I mean...
it's Meltzer, so it could be that, or it could be, he had an iPad case he was testing out,
Yeah, well, he got a new tattoo. I see that stuff get covered all the time.
Well, wasn't that his hurt arm to begin with?
That is true. That was the elbow he hurt. Or the elbow.
I thought he was just wearing it as a precautionary thing, like a knee brace or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't too thrown off with it, but, there were a lot of people, like you said, who were just going like, well, obviously he's hurt. Look at that thing. And I was like, well, that's not, to me, everyone wearing a knee pad isn't nursing an injury.
True.
Like whenever you see the white tape around the ribs.
Yeah.
No one ever tapes ribs, so...
Yeah.
Well, you're clearly hurt. My God.
Yeah.
Has Cesaro ever taken off the tape he has on his shoulder and back that he's, like, the black runner's tape he puts all over his upper body?
I don't know. Maybe. I think recently he may have, but at the same time, like, yeah, I'm not buying it as like that. That's the big deal is that he's fighting with a hurt arm.
Yeah.
Let's see, but either way, so Mojo Rawley came out this week. He didn't get a full entrance, which I made note of, but then it was after that that I realized how long that walkway was, and that could easily be why he didn't get a full entrance.
Yeah.
But in being Mojo versus Apollo, Mojo came out with that weird Magneto looking get up and the face paint on his face looking like Luna Vachon. I was digging it.
I like it. I'm glad that they finally showed Mojo.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But was Apollo considered a wild card? Because isn't he a Smackdown guy now?
They did. They said he was coming over as part of the wild card rule, and I thought I didn't know where he was to begin with, so you could have not said it. I would have been like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt about it. I didn't know where he was, and so when he showed up, I was like, oh, Apollo's over here. Did not consider the idea of him being on one show or the other. And
now you feel sad because you didn't.
Yeah, that and Mojo being on Raw was just like, oh crap, Mojo's on Raw. He could have been anywhere.
Yeah.
I just didn't like that those promos that they cut, a few weeks ago that it never materialized into anything. All of a sudden he just showed up.
He was talking into the broken one, and then after that we see him and he's got the broken face looking paint. So I would say it's a little disconnect because it's definitely weeks between, but it didn't feel completely ignored. It did feel like a little left out of place after a while. And the other thing is that he really made his debut 1 or 2 weeks ago on Main Event.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I meant to show you the clip because my concern with it was that he was largely the same. Like, he had the same entrance with the football thing, and he was doing a lot of the same everything. He just had a different look, but everything else was identical. So I was all like, oh, come on, man. But this one felt like a little different. This Mojo didn't feel exactly the same. He had a really good squash match against Apollo. Showed a pretty high intensity. Showed some pretty nice moves. New moves we haven't seen him do yet. I liked he was screaming a lot. I'm excited to see where they go with it. I hope they go somewhere with it. I like the guy.
Yeah.
I liked it because they haven't done... Apollo still somehow looks strong.
Oh, yeah.
So, by having it be the hurt knee and then focusing on the knee, it makes Mojo look way healed.
Yeah.
But still doesn't make Apollo, it's not like just destroying Apollo in 10 seconds.
Yeah, he didn't just destroy Apollo. He took advantage of a tweaked knee in a real vicious sense. He came off real mean. So.
And his knee strikes, the way the knee tackles look so good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. His knee tackle.
Like he used to do it for a living.
Yeah. Let's see. After that, it cuts to Alexa, who's missing her luggage, and Nikki Cross comes out, and she seems to be portraying a new gimmick too, coming off really normal, and then ended up convincing Bliss to give her spot in the match, and then at the end, as Alexa seemed to be the one to come up with the idea with Nikki planting all those seeds, it showed back up on Nikki's face, and she got that big crazy smile again. And I was all like, oh.
Yeah, it was confusing at first, but then when she finally smiled again, it was like, all right, cool. Because I was afraid that they repackaged her completely.
Yeah, with Sanity being gone. Now, here's the other thing is on her YouTube, she's been doing all these videos about her evil twin. And her evil twin has been normal Nikki, and it's been showing all these pictures of her smiling and in dresses, and old Nikki when she was in Scotland and stuff, just in a lot different ring gear. Her ring gear used to look a little bit more like Bayley's, a little bit kind of like a mix between Bayley and Alexa Bliss. It was pretty plain though. And so in those videos, she's even going up to her husband, Killian Dane, and being like, "Where's evil Nikki? And I know you know where my twin is," and all this stuff, and been referring to the good Nikki as evil. I think this is an extension of that, where she comes off really nice and good, but this is truly her being evil, and the crazy one's as nice as it gets, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I was concerned about that too, and I was even thinking the whole time, I hope that when she comes out for a match, it's not a whole new look, and what song are they going to give her? With there being no sanity, and her music being largely sanity, just with some laughs inside of it, what music are they going to give her? But we'll get to that. But those are what I was wondering at the time. After that, we went to the Becky Lynch contract signing with both Lacey and Charlotte. What do you guys think? I liked it overall. Fans were loudly behind Becky and booing over both Lacey and Charlotte, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
Becky calls Charlotte Lacey's twin. I thought was funny.
I like the line that, like, where she talked about the pressure of it.
Yeah.
One of you can't lose their first title match. One of you can't lose their millionth, which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. But like I said, I'm still just disappointed that Lacey and Charlotte didn't have a match, especially with this wild card bullshit, to see who's facing Becky first or last.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason why not to do something like that. We still don't technically know.
Yeah.
I thought Charlotte was sounding really dumb with all of her, like, it's still not enough for you. You know, you got the championship, it's still not enough for you. When her whole character's gimmick has always been, it's not enough, I need more, you know?
Yeah.
And it just seems stupid, because that's the other thing, is that with her saying that it's still not enough for you and all of that, Becky's not the one who challenged either one of you. Matter of fact, Becky was done with both of you and was looking for an honest contender, like a Bayley. She even said.
Yeah.
So, what are you even doing here? You're doing this because it's not enough for you. You know. I just thought it made her character seem a bit dumb.
Yeah.
I think it could have been really cool if they persisted with that and have Becky saying, "I'm signing this because clearly you guys haven't learned." Like, just have those switch back and then say, you know, you and your twin, you do this. You think you deserve this. You know you've lost over and over to me. Like, just keep going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem kind of dumb. I thought the other dumbest thing was, like, it was really dumb to her. Lacey goes, "I don't want to mess up this dress," and then fucking hits her.
Yeah.
Like, within the same, like, comma that hits. Like,
yeah. You didn't have much time to think it through, I guess.
The other thing that I kind of wish is I wouldn't have mind Lacey and Charlotte kind of bickering back and forth as well. Like, you know, Charlotte, her whole thing is, I didn't get here because of my dad, this and that. And then Lacey's thing is, you know, hey, I'm currying favors or whatever she said. And it's like, well, you know, you would think Charlotte would take exception to that.
Yeah, she's slurping flavors.
Yeah.
What are you eating, dude?
what?
What are you eating?
I'm chewing on, like, paper.
You put your head to the side a little bit, and it looked like you were suckling something and came back chewing.
Are you currying favors?
Are you currying favors over there, dude?
Very possibly, yeah.
So what, you found a piece of paper to nibble on?
Yeah.
The buffalo flavor?
No, it's paper flavor. I just need, like, sometimes I just need something in my mouth to, like...
Yeah, I know.
Like, I have trouble focusing, man. You know this.
Oh, yeah, no, I know for sure. I've taken advantage of that. Let's see. Becky, so they start beating on Becky. Becky takes on both of them and is doing a really good job on taking on both of them at the same time until Charlotte delivers a big boot, and then they both powerbomb Becky through the table. So the announcers were at that point saying, mostly Graves, there's no way she can take on them individually, but also were the ones who stated that the numbers eventually caught up with her. So she was taking on both of them and says, oh, she just couldn't keep up with the numbers. It's one or the other. She either can take on both of them, and yeah, she's biting them both off just fine, and then the numbers caught up with her, and now you're saying, well, obviously she can't take on them individually. Well, why not? She just took on two of them at once. No. Didn't make any sense. I think it's just more Corey trying to bury Becky, and he sounds like an idiot.
Yep.
Corey's got to go. Hashtag get rid of Corey. All Corys.
Bring back Marty McFly.
Yeah, bring back Marty. After that, we had Baron Corbin versus Ricochet, which I thought was a really great match from both of them.
Yeah. Looked really good. I think they both looked really strong.
Yeah. I was putting in there, and this is something you and I have talked about a little bit, Clump, is on the indies, the guys with similar styles to Ricochet can at times become very choreographed looking. Although it's a great show of athleticism and skill, it still comes off a little not believable a lot of times. But I was noticing in this one specifically that Ricochet makes his moves and his movements seem natural, and they seem super motivated. He doesn't come off choreographed at all. Everything he's doing, which is probably halfway choreographed, is in cause to something else. This is happening, so I have to move this way if I'm going to stay on top.
Yes. It's true. It looks, if you're doing something well, it looks natural. It looks like you're not thinking about it. He does that better than anyone.
Absolutely.
And the only other person on the indies I think that really matched up, like, was a similar style. It looked like both of them were, not putting in the effort to try and outdo each other was Will Ospreay.
But
even
Ospreay,
then,
you put Ospreay with the right guy, and they come off super choreographed.
Yes.
You know,
well,
and I think Ricochet doesn't.
Ballet.
Yeah.
But it also didn't. But it didn't look like. To me, it's more annoying when it's one person who is trying to match him, and like, well, I got to work with this dude who can do these things, and they're trying to do like a lot more high flying maneuvers, and it doesn't match. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then it really looks choreographed because it looks like you're clearly trying to catch him or clearly trying to be caught.
Yeah. Exactly. So I was just really noticing and being impressed with Ricochet in that one from that aspect of. They both did a few things that were super choreographed and came out super natural. Like when he did some sort of crazy flip to get around Baron's thing where he slides underneath and whips himself back into the ring. He did like a series of flips to get away from that and stuff, and it was all timed out just perfectly. And I think that could have come off choreographed, but didn't. It ended up coming off supernatural.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away by that. I think that's what sets him apart. Corbin ends up getting the win, and then brings in a ladder and begins to climb it, and Ricochet knocks over the ladder, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think both nights they did good things with Ricochet in that ladder. I liked how he was positioned there, where he or in this case he takes him out because he doesn't look weak like he lost.
He looked like he just happened to lose against a big tough dude, and I think they're building Corbin to be a big player here, at least in the title picture coming up.
He's being promoted from a hostess to a bouncer. Because best, and yeah, you don't fuck around inside of his Bennigans. That's all I'm saying.
Trying to see if it lets me mute you from here, or if I end up muting me. What do you think of the match, Kev?
I thought it was good. I mean, they're both good talents, and everything did come off really nice and smooth, and it didn't seem like there were any botches or anything like that I noticed.
Yeah, I was impressed by both of them. I think Corbin's got a big upside to him. As much as he is one of the most boring people at times, he's shown a huge level of growth in the past couple of months, I would say, really. I mean, the idea of putting Corbin and Seth in a program together sounds like just straight sleep TV. Corbin keeps up the way he's going. It could be really good. Then they did a Samoa Joe promo recap, and where he threatens Dominic and his innocence, I suppose. And then Mysterio cuts a promo with Cesaro where they go back and forth, and then Cesaro questions if Rey is even the father, and they break into a fight. This only made me laugh because it reminded me of the Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Where they literally fought for custody of Dominic. It was like a Money in the Bank, but it was custody in the briefcase.
Pull the paperwork out again.
Yeah.
Dominic, I'm over 18. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm an adult now. I think this is building. What is Joe's character at this point? Does he just like pillage it? Like he could be part of the Viking Raider stable because he does the pillage raping part.
Yeah. That's what he's best at.
Joe, don't leave him with your wife, Samoa. Or Samoa, don't leave him with your wife, Joe.
You call him Samoa there for a second? No, Joe Samoa?
No, yeah.
Fuck that.
Not live, right?
Yeah, no, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah. After that, they showed a Roman vignette, which, like you mentioned before, you're kind of using a lot of time on Roman at this point. And it's kind of like putting a reminder in each show, like, please don't boo him. It's gonna be mean.
Yeah, he had cancer. Look what he's done.
Yeah.
Look at everything he's done.
Yeah. Please remember you can't boo him when he comes out later.
But also, like, when you're reminding us of him, like, it kind of then reminds me of, like, the past 3 years where, yeah, you got real fucking tired of Roman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really don't like this guy who just is always being pushed to the top, and I don't know why.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, and that's the other thing I was going to bring up about the vignette is, what's funny is, it was like a good 5-minute video, and literally it showed all 4 or 5 of his moves.
Mm-hmm.
Just Superman punch and spears and drive-bys and
smoke drop.
That's it.
Yeah.
So we already saw the whole match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them consistently showing that promo. It feels a little pandering to me, and I think that they're above that. I think Roman's above that. Maybe they're not, though. Let's see, after that we get an AJ promo, which I remember thinking it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But after that, let's see, we had Naomi versus Dana Brooke versus Natalya versus Nikki Cross. And Nikki came out with her creepy version of the Sandy music. And came out super crazy, so I was excited about that. Makes me think that maybe they're going to be doing like a split personality sort of thing with Nikki.
Nikki and Bray?
Yeah. Nikki in the Funhouse. Let's see. All 4 of the women are showing great aggression and moves from all of them. They're all showing like great moves and stuff. I thought the whole match was great. I thought it was one of the best matches of the whole night.
Yeah.
Nikki won with a spinning neck breaker off of the middle rope, which was pretty cool. Alexa comes down and asks Nikki to set up the ladder while she climbs it and goes up the ladder. She takes down the Money in the Bank thing and holds it up. It just reminded me of how little she was involved in the Money in the Bank match last year when she won it too. I remember her rolling out pretty early, doing 1 or 2 spots and rolling out again, and then coming up and being like, "Oh, I'm tired and beat up," and winning. And it was like she was in the match for all of like a minute and a half.
What is this leading to with Alexa? That's what I wonder. Like, and Nikki.
Yeah.
If Alexa wins it again, is this going to be Nikki taking the Money in the Bank Money in the Bank briefcase from her, or is it going to be her taking her out when she has the belt? What is the goal of this?
I'm not sure. I'm hoping that Nikki takes Alexa out of the match. She gets involved.
That'd be good.
I think it'd be cool if Nikki just goes in there and takes the Money in the Bank.
Not even being in the match? That'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
And she just walks, back, or, walks out with it, and everyone's just like, well, I guess it's over.
Yeah. I guess that's that.
It's a
That'd be pretty cool.
wild card rule.
Yeah. Wild card. You never saw it coming, even from me in the match.
Yeah, I mean, I liked that Nikki won. I thought that was great. But, like you said, it's just, what is it setting up?
Yeah, but it is setting up something, and that's interesting to see. The other deal being that Alexa's just definitely not in the ring a lot.
Yeah.
And now it's just like part of her character to not wrestle, and it doesn't make me. I'm not more endeared to her because of it. I don't like her more.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's the heel heat either. It's just the kind of like, I feel pretty ambivalent towards you. You're just never coming out and wrestling. Why should I care to be invested in your character?
It's just like apathy is maybe you don't want apathy, but that's what I feel here.
Yeah.
It's just why, like, there's so many other options. Why this?
Yeah,
You know?
100%. After that, Sami Zayn cut a promo about Twitter, which was pretty good. Every minute with him is good, I think.
Yeah.
And then you get Rey Mysterio versus Cesaro. And I feel like that match was just as good as it sounded on paper. Mysterio gets the win with a 619 and a frog splash. And I feel like the guys went back really good, told an awesome story of a real powerful dude, the strongest man in the company, deceptively strong, going against the deceptively wily Rey Mysterio. I think it was a really great David and Goliath story.
Yeah.
Anything,
Have you watched the workout video with Sheamus and Cesaro and what he calls Cesaro?
No, tell me more about how Sheamus and Cesaro work out together, Plum.
Now it sounds silly. They put this video out where they're all working out and like Sheamus is just going. He's like, it's like two other female talents. He goes, it's Sheamus, this person, Big Dick Tony, pointing at Cesaro.
Oh, that makes sense. And then Sheamus, I imagine, goes by Ice Shamey. And let's see. So I thought the match was pretty good. After that, Revival cuts a promo on the Usos. And they stay really strong in saying the embarrassment of the Revival stops now. I think they're doing a really good job, actually, of keeping a serious edge to characters despite all of the comedy skits they've been in over the past month.
Yes.
Which I think is more of a testament to them in general, just as performers. They're coming off super serious, and we are to be taken seriously, but they're also not afraid to go out there and wipe their butt on the ring. You know?
Yeah.
So I think... I mean, it just stands to reason to me a little bit more that I think they might be enjoying their time there. They're actually being utilized really well. They're getting a lot of prominent TV time, and they're not coming off as fools. They're getting embarrassed by jokesters, and then they're coming off strong and mean. You know? Like,
if they were really wanting to get out of there, if they were really done as people would think, or people who think that their booking's so poor, they could do a really shit job at this.
Yeah.
And yeah, they would be done.
Yeah, they could be phoning it in or trying to get in the back. Like trying not to be on TV.
Just like walking out there and just not going all the way in like they do, which is, you know.
Hey, Kevlar, you just dropped your phone?
No.
Just drop it in the mud or something? What was that?
I don't know.
Alright.
I didn't hear anything.
Hey, Clump, leave Kevlar alone, Clump. You're messing with his audio. Yeah, what do you think of the Revival?
I think it's good. I think they're doing good. I think they're handling this really, really well. I think that I'm excited for it. I think I'm excited for tag teams on Raw again.
Yeah, I think they're going to do a really good thing. What do you think of their skit, Kevlar?
I thought it was good. You know, like you said, they just back to business almost.
Yeah.
Like, hey, enough of this shit. We're done. You know, we're ready to whoop some ass again, and you know, let's see where it leads to.
Yeah, and to be honest, even if they do some more silly stuff here and there, they're going to come off still strong. They even posted a picture of themselves at the Eiffel Tower, and they were both sipping out of the same glass, and they're all like, "Embarrass us?" ? And it was like #FTR.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw that. Like that.
Yeah, they're like 2 straws in 1 cup kind of a deal, and it's like, yeah, like I think they're having fun. I mean, I don't know. None of us know, but from the outside looking in, I don't know that they're as unhappy as everyone says they are, based purely off what they perceive to be poor booking. But to be honest, that much screen time is not poor booking. That's good booking. You're on screen a lot. And in this world, yeah, sometimes the titles don't matter, but sometimes they do. It depends on who you give them to. So when they have them, they did matter, but, you know, you can go the other way.
I mean, if we're going to talk about poor booking, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins are not on TV.
Yeah, that's lucky.
That's poor booking.
That's true, and here's champions who are not even on TV, and you got, like, 2 segments.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It doesn't feel bad.
Yeah.
Everyone who's tuning in, thanks for tuning in. Go ahead and smash that follow button. Smash it with 2 fingers. You can say no to the notifications. It's totally fine. Let me see here. If anybody who's watching has any questions, throw them out, man. We definitely will hit them up. If you got any views on any of these things, throw them out too.
I may
let's hear from you guys too.
MS Tina put up ooh and but that was when I was when I said I was eating paper. So
yeah.
I scared off one of our viewers.
Yeah, we know exactly how disgusting you are, Clump.
That's and we're coming live from my house. This is even scarier.
That's true. As you can tell by all the silos and sounds we hear from the planes overhead. Let's see, after that, it actually shows Seth as they're cutting to commercial, and Seth says, "Hey, I broke the internet today," as they cut to commercial. That was in reference to him posting a picture of him and Becky kissing backstage at WrestleMania. It got a lot of attention. It's cool. The other weird bit about that was that the amount of negative people are weird to me. The amount of people who are all like, "Oh, like give it 6 months," or "Oh, I hope that they break up," and it's like, if any two people get together, I just kind of want them to be happy. Like, I don't know why it's got to be this whole like jealous, like, "Oh, I've got a chance I've never met her," versus why would you, if you do like her so much, why wouldn't you want her to be happy? You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought that was weird.
I think it'd be cool if they were like a power couple.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Macho Man and Elizabeth, but
Elizabeth's a badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it could be cool. I hope it doesn't. I made the joke to someone else where it's like, I'm only happy if they put them in a program together. If it's like Mark Mero and Sable. But realistically, I think I just don't want them getting a bunch of interview questions from each other about each other and not being able to be their own person. But I think for Mixed Match Challenge, it could be fun to see them together.
They could be the men.
Yeah, the men. Man-Witch would be a good one.
I think, like, that was the one thing I initially kind of was like, well, I didn't like it, but it wasn't for, like, the 6 month, the time thing, the relationship part, but I was thinking, I really hope that this doesn't be seen as a thing that diminishes Becky. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it connects that part. But then I thought, well, it could also be seen as something that improves Seth.
Yeah, I will say this, is right now I think Seth is Becky's boyfriend. I don't think Becky is Seth's girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think Becky's the bigger star right now. So, maybe. But either way, they come back and they cut to Firefly Funhouse.
Which is awesome.
Fuck.
I loved it.
Yowie effing wowie. I was a big fan. Real big fan of it.
Yeah, it was awesome. I like it. The mask looks cool.
The mask, and you and I talked about this, Marsh. The mask is done by the people who do some of the Slipknot masks, which is awesome. And
I was on Slipknot. I said I was on Slipknot.
Yes, I was. Oh shit! If only this was Seth Rollins gimmick, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe Slipknot does his new music. Yeah, I just thought it was great. The whole, you want to see what I've been working on, and you found me, and then that weird Twinkle Twinkle Little Star mix. It took a second for me to understand what he was saying, and when it clicked, I was like, oh, that's good. Kids' music is always creepy. My girlfriend.
See, I was thinking they did Twinkle Star because of the Fireflies.
Yeah, probably.
And his secret, wondering what you are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could see that. My girlfriend said something along the lines of it being a parental thing. That I'm trying to remember how she worded it, but thinking it had to do with, like, it was all very parental. It was all very much like he's got all this kid stuff around now, and he's trying to behave for the kids or something, and then at the end of the day, he's like super creepy.
What's funny is I was reading something, and they were saying that
he says that he's feeling parental, that he's making a baby room, a nursery, hearing baby rhymes, and then he kind of takes it too far because at the end of the day, he's still a creep.
He's making babies.
He's not making. Oh, he did just make a baby, actually.
He did.
Yeah, he did just make a baby.
Made baby.
Yeah.
Well, I was reading somewhere that some of the Bray Wyatt promos, because part of how YouTube will like categorize videos is via visual search, they are putting in the Firefly Funhouse videos into like kid sections.
Good.
Makes me makes me so fucking happy.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's where they belong.
Is the Firefly Funhouse going to be the new Momo challenge?
Oh, god damn it! Marsh, do you know about the Momo challenge?
I remember seeing a few pictures of like Momo Raleigh, and like.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I don't remember. I don't know what it was about or for.
You might know more than us, Kev, because my wife knew about it because she works with like teens and kids, and like she was really annoyed with it, and I didn't care enough to learn. But I saw it.
Supposedly, like on YouTube, this I guess it was from a Japanese horror movie set. It was this prop, and somebody posted like a picture on the internet, and then, of course, internet trolls took it over, and then we're telling kids to do bad things, and they'd hide it, allegedly in the middle of like a SpongeBob video, where like SpongeBob would be playing, then all of a sudden it flips and it shows the Momo character, and it's like, kill yourself and random shit like that.
That's cool.
I'm just wondering if WWE is going to get flack because Firefly Funhouse is accidentally, going into the kids sections.
Not with other stuff they got going on. They're good.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing they got going. Yeah, I know that he also, if you guys saw it, he put out a thing that he had 8 consecutive promos in 2015, where there was a line in each of them that was different than every other line in the promo, and the 8 of them together tied together into its own message. And so people have been on the hunt for that, and I thought he was going to tell us what it was, but that's been weeks now.
I think he tweeted it out like a day ago.
What the actual result was?
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Yeah, try to find it. Either way, really happy with the Firefly Funhouse and wherever it's going now. What I'd like to see, and I know Bully Ray said the same thing, but I thought it too, so I think we're just in agreement. It'd be really cool to see Bray Wyatt just not involved with anybody right away and just start showing up and terrorizing people. Like, I want to see him scare Lars Sullivan. Like, I want him coming out from underneath the ring, just showing up ringside all of a sudden, just standing there staring at people with the mask on, and having them just get scared and run.
That'd be cool if he takes does some, like, Taker shit, where the Firefly Funhouse theme plays, and then the ring opens up and dude drops down. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. I want to see stuff like that. I want to see him terrorize the company for, like, 2 months before someone gets involved with him. Who, I'm not sure, but I think it'd be great to see him, like, just scare the piss out of Lars Sullivan.
Have him piss his pants like Drake Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I saw somewhere. I can't find it. Never mind.
Well, it's because you were lying.
Yeah, that's fair.
After that, Seth said, Seth cut a promo where it showed clips of his match that him and AJ had back in, like, 2006. Really cool. That was the one I was telling you guys about when they first started talking. That there was that old match of him and the two of them when he was just a kid.
Yeah. It was Tyler Black.
Yeah. I mean, might have even been before that, really, because this is like when he was like brand new on the indies. He was still young. I don't know if he had an official name yet.
Fair point.
So it could have been before Ring of Honor, even. Unless Tyler Black's his real name, then maybe it was. I don't know, but it was really early in his career. So I thought it was cool that they referenced it. It was nice.
Yeah.
After that, we had the Braun versus Sammy Falls Con Anywhere match. Corbin got involved, put Strowman through a table. Sammy and Corbin continue the attack. Comes back from commercial, and Corbin's just gone, so we don't know what happened there. But then McIntyre gets involved. Braun gets all hulked up and doesn't seem to be selling anymore. But then Corbin comes out and teams with Drew. They put Braun through a ladder, which snaps back into place. And then he claymores him, drags Sammy, he gets the pin. All three of them are pushing him down to get the pin. And I just think it was such a great heel way to win. And then Corbin throws Sammy back out at Braun, who chokeslams him through a table, which is another great heel move. All in all, I thought the match was great. I thought it was a good way to get these guys in a program together that's exciting. I thought it made sense to get Braun out of the match. I thought putting Sammy Money in the Bank is exciting and awesome. And I thought, what an easy win to boo. Like, how great is it?
I liked it. I like that. I like that they took Braun out of the match.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't want to see him in it. I have no interest in him winning it again. So to take him out of it completely, I think is awesome.
Yeah. I'm pretty stoked with having him out of it.
Definitely it was a surprise. Threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
No, when I before I watched this, when I read the Reddit thread and I saw that Sammy had won, I was like, wait, what? But I like it. It builds several storylines. I don't think Braun needs to be in this match this year.
Yeah.
I think they need to do a lot to build him up again, because they've taken so much focus off of him. But it should be really good with him and McIntyre, and then it builds up him and Braun, or Braun and Sammy, or Sammy and McIntyre and Corbin, because throwing him back out, there's a lot that could happen, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I thought it opened up a lot for possibilities moving forward, but I thought it was I thought it was a great way to end the whole thing too, and having Braun get the one over on Sammy, keeping Braun out of that match. Braun did such a bad job as Monster in the Bank last year that I don't think we need a repeat. I don't think we need to see him prove that he can do it. I think that he can just move on to another thing.
Yeah.
Plus, again, we're in a realm where you don't need a reason to have a title match right now. So, someone like Braun can just go up and say he wants one. And he's always been in the title pictures anyways, if he wanted to be. So, yeah, I don't think it's a thing his character needs, but I think it does make the match much more interesting, much more dynamic. Having a guy like Sammy in a ladder match is a lot more exciting than having a guy like Braun in a ladder match.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that I was going to bring up, too, is I thought Braun was going to go after Seth first for the belt. Like, hey, you only got that opportunity from, at Royal Rumble. I almost had it. I want a shot, this and that.
Yeah.
And then they just went to AJ.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with, whatever.
Yeah. I do think it's a little early to pull the gun on AJ, but again, I don't think we need a Braun story yet. And like you said, if you build up Braun well enough, it could be an exciting match to have down the line.
Yeah. I think you can factor into that. You made Braun into be such a monster. What happened? You went have it be like you went from main eventing these pay-per-views. You went from winning the greatest Royal Rumble to being in the Andre the Joint Battle Royal
against Colin Jost.
What is this?
Yeah, what was that, Kevlar? Did you just set off a bottle rocket?
I didn't do anything.
Dude, there was a huge crash coming from your little yellow circle there.
Really?
Yeah. I thought Braun just burst through the window to get you. I was like, oh, you shouldn't talk
Here's
tonight.
what we're doing.
Yeah, Braun.
It's funny how it's more interrupting than the airplanes.
Yeah, it's weird.
But it's weird. Like, I'm literally just lying in bed.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of the fact that you don't have to be on camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Such a trash bag, dude.
Yeah.
Got my pants off, have a drink in my hand, laying on my bed.
Drinking one
Man, I
hand,
really hope
something
this
else
cuts
in the
in.
other.
What's that?
Drinking one hand, something else in the other.
Yeah.
I got pants off in one hand.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else to recap on Raw? That's the end of Raw.
I like that it did the ending match wasn't Roman and Miz.
Yeah.
That's something else that was cool.
Yeah. 100%. Having Braun and Sammy close out the show with Drew and Baron, I thought was a really good sign of things to come. It makes me think they're going to be building these guys up into some pretty cool programs.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked the way that it ended. Outside of Sammy obviously winning, the whole program didn't get me excited for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I guess even the Becky thing didn't make me more excited for the match, but it was nice to see Becky just destroy them again. She even posted a picture that said "My twins" and had arrows pointing to the belts. Then it said Vince's twins and it had arrows pointing at Charlotte. And
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I would say overall, yeah, it didn't make me more excited necessarily. Sammy being in it definitely did. Miz and Shane, no. Roman Elias, I still keep forgetting he's even a match.
Yeah.
Seth and AJ, is that Money in the Bank? Is that right?
Yes.
Why does it feel like that's not even a thing, though? Like, you keep cutting these promos and you keep feeling like, okay, whenever that happens, I guess.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like a lot of build.
And that's the problem with that match, is that it should be a bigger build between the two.
Yeah, it should feel huge. It should feel huge.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Yeah, it should feel like WrestleMania Part 2, almost.
Yeah, 100%. Even Ray and Samoa Joe, I don't think I'm excited about seeing them fight again. I feel like I've gotten enough of them.
A lot of it feel like things I forgot. Like, I'm like, you're saying, I'm like, oh, cool, that's on the card too.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I was thinking about it earlier today, and just thinking about the card, and I was like, I only know of a few matches, and it's, this Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of matches on the card, I don't think. I mean, Becky's in too.
And I saw that they barely announced, who is it? Which kind of irks me, but Usos and Daniel Bryan and Rowan.
Yeah. Yeah, we were going to talk about that after Smackdown, but yeah, sure, throw it out there. But yeah, they're going to do it on the kickoff show, which I'm not entirely sure of why, too, because Usos are officially on Raw.
Yeah.
So it's a wild card title match, which doesn't feel like it has to happen. Also, as we're going to talk...
the kickoff, because...
wild card, keeps guessing.
Yeah, wild card matches. And then...
Because clearly the kickoff shows don't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Survivor Series.
Daniel Bryan's gonna go for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship wildcard match.
Wild card kickoff show.
Eric Rowan's gonna fight Shaquille O'Neal.
They need a wild card like sound effect, like Ricochet, which is like wild card every time somebody comes out.
Yeah, every time someone comes out, pew 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 pew, wild card. Like an air horn, wild card air horn.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't, we will. So.
Yeah, exactly.
A magician comes out and takes way too long to do a shitty trick and says wild card. Then they announce it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing that's annoying me about that match, and we're going to talk about it just here, is let's see, SmackDown Live opened up with Roman, and he immediately brings out The Miz, and cited the wild card rule to do that.
So.
Yeah, you're raising your hand already? I'm a sentence in.
Yeah.
Nothing's
When
happened.
writing up notes and just kind of thinking things out, I thought, because I was reviewing it, I thought I was looking at the wrong thing, because this can't be Raw then SmackDown doing the same thing. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, they opened the same.
We didn't have enough Roman and Miz. We know you needed more, so
yeah.
We're gonna give you another
for someone who wrote notes, you're not very concise. Yeah, so instead of Roman coming out during Miz TV, Miz came out during Roman TV, I guess. On Wildcard Rule TV, They both ended up having a pretty awful promo, and then Shane came out with Elias. Shane bans Miz from the show, and then brings out Daniel Bryan and Rowan, who come out without tag titles. They never once showed the tag titles the whole night.
Well, see, when I noticed that too, when they first came out, they didn't have the belts, and I was like, whatever. They're clearly going to reveal the new tag titles, the Earth-friendly ones, or whatever they called it.
Yeah, they have to.
And then, like you said, they just never showed the belts.
But then nothing.
Time.
Hey, what'd your notes say about it?
I think at Money in the Bank, they'll have to show a belt.
At least at the end of the match.
Yeah.
What'd your notes say, Clump?
I was gonna say, my notes. Next thing I wrote down was why is Shane the only authority figure now?
Oh yeah,
and
he's
it's
the
on
owner.
Both Raw and SmackDown. Why can't And I'm not. We went through a year of a lot of Stephanie and Triple H.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of Shane.
Yeah.
Why can't it be Vince Camille? Why can't it be Shane or Steph? Why can't it be Triple H? Why is Shane on all of it? And then when Shane says under my authority, so we're just making shit up, and you have just autonomy over everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking that last week, when Shane just goes out there and says, hey, I'm going to give the tag belts to who I think's deserving. I was thinking, that would have been a great time for Triple H to go out there and be like, well, I don't think they're deserving. I think these people are deserving or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Why is Shane the say-all?
Why is Shane God for everything now?
Well, because he's the wild card GM. I don't know why he's coming out for everything, but I was pretty upset they came out without the tag titles. And then the four of them surround the ring and attack Roman and Miz, and then the Usos come out to help even the odds. Then it comes back to a promo where Shane makes a match of 4-on-3, and if Miz gets involved, then he's going to cancel the cage match. I thought it was an interesting idea, but I mean, I did like seeing Roman and the Usos together. They have mentioned privately, or not privately, but in interviews in the past that they'd really like to be in a faction together. And I think that could be actually great for Roman. I think me and Kevlar have talked about that in the past as well.
Yeah.
I think Roman would need them. I think it'd be really good for Roman. I think Roman, it could be a character change, and they're way over. Having him not be what he is and seeing what that version of him would be with this team would be really good.
I think it'd be good as long as he doesn't mistake his conditioner with Uzi Hot.
You know what cures lymphoma? Uzi Hot.
It's fucked up. Uzi Hot's not a cure for cancer, dude.
Uzi Hot.
We don't know Uzi Hot isn't.
Yeah.
Let's see, after that we ended up with RKO versus Andrade versus Ali versus Balor.
I thought it was weird that Randy Orton came out to the ring and then they we'll be right back, and then they went to a fucking different thing.
Yeah.
I was like, did the match not happen?
Yeah. No match.
Yeah.
That was quick.
Back. What you missed during the break, and it shows them pinning someone.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought it was really confusing.
Yeah.
He's out there, and then, after this commercial break, you think, all right, all four competitors are going to be in the ring, let's go. And they did it, whatever else they did, I forget. And
they
then
did that Shane
the
promo.
other guy, huh?
They did that Shane promo.
Oh. And then they had the other guys walking down to the ring, and I was like, well, that was a waste of time.
Yeah, it was weird.
I do like Randy Orton's got a smirk that he has here. That's like the best heel smirk. Just like where he has that like smile, like old man strength, like bring it on, damn it. I've done this for 15 years.
Yeah.
You think you're hot shit? You Irish fuck.
Damn.
Easy now.
Yeah, I didn't get that part of it. But I could see where you would.
Yeah. I'll kick your ass and then watch my kids play t-ball.
What? Kevin, your kids play T-ball. Is it like that?
Yeah.
I guess not growing up in Tucson.
Yeah. Hold on.
Maybe in like Boston or something like that.
We may have froze. Are we froze?
Oh. No?
No? Everything looks good on my side, but on my watch, on my phone, I'm not. It's frozen. Is that just my phone?
I think so. My iPad's
Still good? That makes sense. Alright, well, I'll just restart my phone. So it says we're good, so we're going to keep going. Sorry about that. But...
What's up, Blue? How you doing?
Sablu.
No.
Sablu.
No.
Sablu. So let's see. Andrade. So they had little promos by RKO and Andrade only. The RKO one was pretty short, so I thought they were all going to get one, and then it didn't. So it didn't make a lot of sense. But then you had Andrade, who sounded better than he's had the past couple times. He's sounding better, so that's good.
Is that like a
Rosetta Stone?
God damn it!
Yeah. Rosetta Stone. If only Shinsuke had the Rosetta Stone, he wouldn't have forgotten all of English that one day.
WWE has an ESL program.
Yeah, and JPW. Let's see. The match got underway. Andrade. Let's see. There was a lot of use of ladders and the announce table. There was that cool spot where Randy just throws everyone on the table and then leans on the side of the ring.
Yeah.
I think it was a pretty great match from all the four dudes in general. Andrade got the win with the hammerlock DDT. Andrade then set up the ladder, and Ricochet ran down, jumped to the top rope, and then jumped to the top of the ladder from the rope. Knocked Andrade down into the corner, where Charles Robinson jumped up and over Andrade to avoid getting hit, which I thought that was amazing work by Charles Robinson. Little Nate is amazing. Ricochet climbs up, takes down the briefcase, and then walks away with it. Thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And I thought the match was amazing. I thought everyone did great.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
No, I'll keep moving.
I mean, no complaints there.
Yeah, it definitely made me more excited for Money in the Bank match.
I think the only thing I don't like is that I am really tired of seeing these guys fight each other.
Yeah, that's what makes this next match exciting, I think. Is that you're going to finally get them in the ring with four other people. I think the problem was that they didn't have any of those, like, earn your way into the match things. It was just like, here's your four dudes. And so now every week it's like, let's have the four dudes fight each other.
Oh, cool. The four dudes who we've seen constantly.
Yeah. And the other thing I was noticing was that this year, which we haven't seen, which we've seen in the past, is them saying, bring it back to your brand. You cash it in on your brand's champion. They're not saying that at all this year. I think the briefcase might be a wild card.
Make it a physical item. You go find it somewhere. Like, ooh, I know I want to go to Smackdown. I'm going to search through it and then find it in the women's restroom.
I hope the Money in the Bank contract actually just is a wild card contract. Yeah.
It's one single playing card.
Yeah, from Uno.
Yeah.
I hope AEW makes one of their first pay-per-views called Wild Card. Fucking get rid of this. Get rid of this name.
Pay-per-view. Well, in the wild card pay-per-view, you don't know who's going to fight who. No matches are set. Let's see.
Like AEW.
Yeah, like AEW.
Hey, we got stuff to talk about this week.
Let's see.
After no news, there's a lot of news.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, it finally happened. We finally got some news.
Thanks.
Let's see, they had a promo
Also,
there
me
with
being did my job.
let's see, Xavier Woods told Kofi that he's going to go out with KO, or out with him for the KO show to make sure it's on the up and up. Kofi tells him that he's not 100% and to let him handle business on his own and convinces him to stay back. I thought it was a nice little promo between the two of them.
Yeah.
Kofi's looking good, sounding good. Charlotte comes out and introduces a video package about the rivalry between Becky, which I like vignettes, so I did like the video, but I was really surprised it did not include the Royal Rumble at all, especially considering that Becky knocked out Charlotte to get the win. You know? So they had this whole, like, you know, here's our history of matches and big things, and then it didn't mention the fact that Becky knocked Charlotte out of the Rumble to get into WrestleMania to begin with. And then it didn't mention that Charlotte was just thrown into the match after the fact, which I think was also a great part of their rivalry. But anyway, after that they showed Lacey Evans in a backstage promo where she has a hard time coming up with a nickname for herself. She's like, maybe I'll get a nickname. They'll call me Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans.
Champion.
Lacey Evans.
Yeah. The champion title holder. Yeah, I feel like she came off kind of dumb in that bit of it, but otherwise she's been doing okay with her lines, but yeah, nothing special.
I kind of feel weird that they're like, I don't know how to feel about them stacking this week's promos so tight to each other with them. Like,
a lot of promos. Yeah, the next segment's a promo as well.
Well, no, like with Lacey and Charlotte, why they're so tight together, where they're basically attached. I know that they're fighting; they're both going to be against the same person, but why? Like, it kind of, to me, like, one thing I took away was, well, it makes Lacey in a sense seem weak, but then if she's a heel, maybe that's not bad.
Yeah. It definitely comes up making it look like it's almost like a handicap match, unless like two separate matches.
Yes, exactly.
And then after that was another promo.
Kevin?
Huh?
Did Kevin just die? Like, I heard a moan.
Oh, yeah.
I said,
It's because he was filling up his glass again.
What the
I'm putting my pants back on.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to hear a zip.
Our Patreon subscribers will get to see this, see Kevin's side of this.
Yeah, the Kevin cam. And see, after that, Aleister Black cuts his promo in front of a bed sheet that talks about his opponents trying to get inside his head, and all he could think about, wow, he hasn't wrestled since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I don't know who he's talking about at this point. Although he did not choke on his own tongue this week, which was nice, but he did refer to something as being naked, which was a little gross.
He said naked villainy, and
you wrote it down? Is that in your notes?
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, I'm trying to
got
be
notes.
like an adult and do this right.
Yeah. You're just lucky there's no ice cubes in front of you today.
Well, I've already spilled shit, okay? It's just you don't see it on camera.
Yeah, there's just tons of stuff pouring over.
We're not there to point it out.
Yeah. Let's see. After that, we ended up having the Shane and Daniel Bryan match. Shane, Daniel Bryan, Rowan, Elias versus Usos and Roman. I thought that was a little early to have the match too, but I was glad where it was because I didn't want to see them. I didn't want to see Roman close it out again. Like, I like seeing Roman in the middle of the show at this point, you know?
Yeah. It was the Game of Thrones match.
Yeah.
All they kept talking about was the bloodlines and the Usos and Roman and Shane's bloodline and...
Yeah, the heir to the throne.
Yeah, I didn't know where they were going with it. They really didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done a little bit more to make Roman and Usos seem like more of a team, and I hope it's a team he continues with, especially them both being wild card rule holders. Let's see. Elias keeps holding up his fist at the camera, very much like El Idolo Andrade. And I'm not sure why. He kept doing that over and over again. Just this. He would do a move and then go to the ropes and do that again. Also, of note, Andrade did not do that this week.
A lot of groups do that as a sign of power within their who they are, like at the 1968 Olympics, or be a sign of power based on what he is. So
You're saying
white,
Black Power?
Yeah, but, well, he's white, so it could be white power? Ooh, that's probably not a good thing for him to do. Maybe he shouldn't have his hand raised like that for that extended period of time. It is a very weird gesture.
Marsh is desperately looking for the mute button.
It's not here, man.
I'll just type it in the effects tab. I can add text.
I'm glad you took notes this week, Clump. It's gone great.
I've tried.
I'm trying to figure out if he's trying to make this his new thing or not. It's a little weird, and the fact that Andrade didn't do it makes it even more suspicious. But Shane ultimately gets the win with a coast-to-coast to Jimmy Uso. Miz comes out with a chair because the match is officially over, but Miz was still banned from the building, so I don't know what that had to happen for. And again, it's just more of Miz chasing Shane with a chair. Otherwise, the match wasn't bad. I think all the people were good. Daniel Bryan, Rowan, Elias, Usos, Roman, they were all doing great. Match was a good match. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it was a decent match. I do want to see more of the Usos and Roman Reigns together. We've said that.
I really want to see that as a thing.
I think it'd be a really good thing. It just felt meh. It felt kind of... If it wasn't some Raw that had Roman Reigns and Miz in the main event, now it's going to be Smackdown.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, Miz running in with a chair, it doesn't even seem that intimidating.
Yeah, it doesn't. He doesn't come off tough with it.
Yeah, him as a valiant face doesn't work. He needs to be like, it's not working. I don't know what you would do with it, but do something different.
Yeah.
Be underhanded. Be shitty. He would be a good person. Like if he's an A-lister, have him hire actor. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, and him running around with that chair just makes him look like he can't beat Shane anyways.
Yeah.
Unless like he just wants to hurt Shane, it looks just like he can't beat Shane. After that was the Firefly Funhouse segment again. Can't get enough. I love it. Keep it coming. After that, Asuka and Kairi Sane came out. The music flips back and forth again and is absolutely awful.
Very jarring.
And I felt like that they could just keep the Kairi Sane intro, because I like that, where it comes in with that little string sound and then cuts into the and goes into the Asuka stuff. Pretty cool to combine it that way and then leave it. And even the way it had the Kairi Sane promo with Asuka's, not promo, but her her banner, and then Asuka's name coming above it, and then the Kairi Sane things on the side, the spinning pirate stuff with Asuka's mask in the middle. I thought, what a great way to combine those two. Stop flipping back and forth between the music. Just don't.
Yeah. Going back and forth with the music's like you don't get into it.
No, it's jarring.
Yeah.
This is a billion-dollar company. You can't transition stuff better.
Yeah, and Kairi Sane's song isn't that great, top to bottom.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's kind of grown on me a little bit, but I think what they need to do is they need to just scrap both musics and get something new. Especially since they're the Kabuki Warriors now.
Oh, and I really hate that name.
Yeah, we'll get into that crap in just a second.
I love Asuka's entrance music. It's really cool. It's good. Asuka's intro music is amazing. I like it a lot.
I think it's absolutely great for music.
And Kari's intro is okay at parts, but just like you said, cut once and then stick with the good music, which is Asuka's.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is good.
Oh, yeah, no. Like, keep it that way. Have the Kairi Sane intro just for that second, so you can kind of be like, oh, that's Kairi Sane, and then cut into the Asuka thing, and it's like, cool. Her song even sounds more intimidating.
What's going to happen if they win something together and they have that really cool moment when they're in the center of the ring and they're extending the music out? Is it going to keep cutting back and forth every 30 seconds while they're like standing holding belts up? Like,
for one, yes, you're going to have an audio seizure, and for two, what belts? Ember and Bayley had iPhone promos, which I thought were fun. Kind of neat way to get them in the show, even though they're not doing much with them. And then the Iconics were on commentary. I kind of forgot they were still around, so I was a bit startled. Noticed they had belts, which I remembered about as well. I do think they've done everything they can to eliminate the hard work that was put into making those things a real thing as quick as they can.
I think Mandy and Sonya also helped out with Mandy saying that I'm gonna go get that briefcase of money in the bank, and then we'll get these belts.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, well, one thing at a time.
Yeah, well,
don't get ahead of yourself.
You won't tag people here.
I don't know why those belts aren't being defended and haven't been defended since WrestleMania.
They're defended against the jobbers, I thought.
Damn it, Kevlar. Yeah, I think 1 week they did a thing. I also think it's crazy just because of how much of the Iconics persona during the time of those belts first coming out was about how Sasha and Bayley weren't showing up on Smackdown and they were showing up on NXT and defending it on Raw, but they weren't coming to Smackdown. And then it was only like 3 weeks before they did, and now here's them with it, and they're not showing up anywhere.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere with them. They're making no efforts to... The division's just gone. They just got rid of the division altogether. After that, Asuka and Kairi Sane have announced that they were going to go by the Kabuki Warriors, which is awful. And then Mandy and Sonya cut a promo, which was okay. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Kabuki Warriors. Paige said in a tweet today, she claimed that Asuka and Kairi Sane are the ones who came up with it. But, yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. That's just like them. That's not like a Vince thing.
Yeah. I mean...
Oh, that's probably why we got the Viking Raiders. They knew we couldn't have Viking Warriors and Kabuki Warriors. There's too many warriors.
God.
It's okay, they're going to do something else next week. It's going to be the Kabuki experience next week.
Yeah, the Kabuki experience. We're in. Wait, that's going to be real bad. Kabuki happy ending.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah.
Next, their intro music will start with that really offensive string sound.
They're like happy yum yum tag team. So it ended with
by Robert Kraft.
Yeah. I'm gonna lean in a little bit. They're complaining about my mic volume, and I don't have one of those. There's a mic volume. I can check here, but I don't think it's gonna make a difference. I'm gonna be further away from it than you are, because you guys are coming out of the speaker. And I don't want to yell. So I'll just double check this. But ultimately, we end up getting into Kabuki Warriors versus Fire and Desire. What do you guys think of the match?
It was an okay match. It just, again, it felt like the belts were unimportant. It felt like a match we've seen before. It felt like we're watching a house show.
Yeah, it was really, the commentary was really crowded with the Iconics, and let me know if that's a little bit better. I try to up my mic. But it just came off as almost just a lot of noise, and actually undermined, to me, the importance of the match that was happening. The focus was drawn away from it, with as much as they were going back and forth, without having anybody actually doing play-by-play, because everyone's talking smack to each other. You don't have that moment of keeping me in the moment, right? So you're having near falls and near pins and everything like that, and it's being completely ignored by the commentary. It makes me kind of ignore the match.
Absolutely.
I felt like the match became hard to watch because of the Iconics making so much noise. Mandy then goes, "I got this," and forces a tag. And then Asuka immediately reverses the pin into a crucifix and gets the win. Kind of saw it coming, but it was funny. Still liked it.
Yeah, see, I would especially since the Kabuki Warriors are, next in line, quote unquote. I would have liked them to get a solid win.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And Asuka and Kairi Sane, especially Asuka, they didn't seem as fierce as, like, especially in the intro. I remember, like, Asuka coming out, having her first bit, and then tagging it. I was thinking, like, that's it.
Yeah.
It just felt...
It was just flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was flat, and I think that the commentary also fed into that too. I felt like the story they were trying to tell was really more about Mandy and Sonya when it should be about the Kabuki Warriors. But again, they're not pushing for that tag division to be meaningful, so they're utilizing, I felt like, that tool to get over somebody who's going to be in a mass singles match coming up. Because if it was truly going to be a thing, then it should have been that match was going to be for a tag title shot at Money in the Bank. You know, of course, Kabuki Warriors win makes it easy, but if they didn't, then Sonya has 2 matches. Not Sonya, but Mandy has 2 matches. Oh, well.
Yeah.
You know?
If they're already teasing breaking up this tag team, then what other tag teams are there, again, other than the Iconics? For this type, like, other than the Iconics and the Kabuki Warriors, who else is there in this division?
Yeah, they destroyed
How
it.
are you going to build a match?
They dismantled it. They completely dismantled it with the shakeup, even, because you had Naomi and Carmella. You had Nia and Tamina, but Nia's out injured. You had Boston Hug Connection, but they were split.
Well, I think the best move to do is for the Iconics to drop the belts on NXT.
Actually, yeah.
You know, there's at least 3 or 4 teams down there, aren't there?
Yeah. Well, no, they split them up too, because the Kabuki Warriors was the...
Yeah.
What they
it's
call
not really... They have, like, valets and stables, but they don't really need women teams at all down there. I mean, you could...
Well, they have, like, Jessamine Duke and that other... Mina Sarai or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had Io and Kari, and then you had...
Candice and Casey Catanzaro.
Yeah, Candice and Casey. There's the Aaliyah and Vanessa Bourne.
Yeah. I mean, there's, like I said, there's more down in NXT than there are in the main roster.
Yeah.
And NXT would actually, make the belts meaningful again.
Yeah.
Outside of because to me, the women tag belts are almost like the greatest Royal Rumble trophy and belt. Where it's like, hey, here it is. We'll show it a couple times and never talk about it again.
But it almost feels even worse than that because it's become a token, but it's in a space where they needed it.
Yeah.
And there's so much building, and by just making it something that's like, okay, here's the greatest Royal Rumble. Like, this is this trophy. It takes away from a lot of work that's been done for years.
Yeah. I do think that it kind of really undermines the work that the Sasha and Bayley were doing for a while. They're trying to make that a reality. And then they're like, okay, we'll make it happen. We'll do it. And then afterwards, like, well, that was nice. Let's go ahead and call it a day. But, after that, they had Lars come out to be interviewed by Kayla, who came out to a lot of boos, and he just stood there and stared at her until she left.
Well, she got scared, which I can understand, because, I mean, you've seen the tweets. I'd be scared of him, and then he just lost $100,000.
Yeah. That's true.
He's pissed.
Yeah, he was not happy. It would have been nice if
Wait, how did he lose $100,000? I missed that.
He got fined for tweets he made that were racist, homophobic, and sexist. And they're from a while ago, but what's kind
is that the bodybuilding thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, WWE officially fined him.
Yeah, which seems kind of crappy because it's also this isn't the first time they've come up. It just seems like, okay, now we're in trouble about this.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just staged fining.
No.
You know, like, okay, yeah, we fined him, we reprimanded him, and they're like, don't do it again, or else you'll be in trouble.
I think someone reached out to WWE about that, and the rumor mill and the rumors everyone is saying is that it is quite a legit fine. I don't know more than that.
That was before he was with the company, right?
Yeah.
So that's stupid.
It is.
Don't get me wrong, he shouldn't have said that stuff, but, you know.
The reason I think it's really stupid is that it's not the first time this has come up.
Yeah, it's like the
this
third
has
time.
Come up. Well, no, like, these specific tweets have come up several times prior.
That's what I mean. It's like the third time. When he came into NXT, they brought it up. When he got called to the main roster, they brought it up. Now he's getting pushed, they bring it up again, and this time it's like a bigger deal than ever. I think part of it is that fans started reaching out to Mars, the candy company who makes M&Ms, and saying to pull their sponsorship from WWE. And Mars responded with a pretty mean-sounding tweet about how they didn't agree with it and that they demanded immediate action and they're going to get with WWE. Then this happened, so I just think maybe it was pressure from the sponsors.
Yeah, fair, but I just
like I said,
good.
Sorry, like I said, I was just wondering if it's not an actual fine, you know.
Well, the rumors are saying it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I thought that too. Maybe not, but either way, it's all a bit weird.
Yeah, the thing that just really kind of annoys me with it is why that it's coming up over and over again, and now it's action based on that sponsor. It doesn't really have any substance to what's happening, and it just basically comes off like we're doing this because we're in trouble.
Yeah.
It's not saying anything about his actions because, you know, like if you really care about what he wrote or that it's upsetting, then there'd be different actions and they would have been addressed a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's gonna happen is they're gonna make a Snickers commercial.
With them?
You know, Lars, eat a Snickers, you become a racist when you're hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah. He starts getting on the computer and starts typing all angry, and they're like, wait. Are you
Lars.
hungry?
Yeah. Slice it with trying to think of a good character. Have him and Mel Gibson be in the same commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys.
And then they both become like Obama and Michelle.
Malala Yusuf.
Yeah. Let's see. After that, KO starts cutting a promo on Kofi, and then gets interrupted by Kofi's entrance. Just reminded me again how good KO is. He comes off so good as well. Kofi then opens up the KO show without KO. And then KO comes up on the screen. They go back and forth. And then they show a really great video package for KO. Kofi then calls out KO. And he comes out with Sammy, who comes out of nowhere, and jumps Kofi. Woods then comes out to defend him. KO and Sammy maintain their advantage. Sammy ends up going for a Haluva kick against the ropes. Gets a Trouble in Paradise. Kofi yells to KO, "What happens this Sunday is on you," and it kind of fades to black. I thought it was a great ending segment.
Yeah.
It does make me a little more excited about it, and it's something like you and I talked about. I think we all talked about it last week. Was that Sammy and KO with the whole wild card rule could be potentially quite a force moving forward if they book it right, and it seems like they could potentially be starting to go that way.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, when we were talking about the wild card earlier, if they do it right, it could be something that could be interesting.
Yeah.
But when you see Roman opening up every show, he's constantly on Raw, you know, for the casual fan, you know, they're going to tune in and be like, oh, why is Roman on Smackdown all of a sudden? You know, it's just, you know, the way they've done it so far, I haven't liked.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that there's only a few moments of utilization that have been good. Like the Usos coming over to try to defend the SmackDown titles when they weren't, when they were just going to be handed over. I thought that was a great way to utilize them. I do think them having won it would have been bigger and better.
It would have made it interesting.
Yeah, but I do think that the idea of getting them over there to do that was really great.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think I've seen so much of I want to see more Kevin Owens. Like, every time he's on, I'm very happy. Same with Sami Zayn. I want to see more of him.
Yeah.
With this wildcard rule, people like him and Sammy would be great. I think it'd be cool if Sammy won the Money in the Bank and went for Seth Rollins' title, mainly because I don't want him to go for Kofi's title, but then that would make really good sense and be a good story.
Yeah. I want Bray Wyatt to win the Money in the Bank.
Oh, that'd be so great.
I want him to appear.
Can you imagine if all the lights kind of flicker and stuff, and it comes back and he's on the top of the ladder with the mask on, holding the Money in the Bank already?
That would be amazing.
That'd be incredible. And then it goes dark again, and then he's gone.
But and no case.
Yeah, no case, and he's gone. Bray took it.
You know what'd be cool too is that if you would almost like Sting, and somebody's reaching for the Money in the Bank, and the briefcase just starts going up to the catwalk.
Yeah.
And you just see Bray sitting there just pulling on the rope, pulling it up to himself.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I don't know if I want to see Bray in the title picture right away. I think he needs to be strong, but he needs squash matches. He needs to be built up.
Yeah, he can do that, but he can also be spending his time terrifying the champion.
Fair.
Having that briefcase doesn't mean you're in the title picture now. It means you're in the title picture when you want to be. Can you imagine in the middle of a title match?
All the guys in the actual match has a gripe. Hey, I want Bray. I want a shot at, what I was in for and what was taken away from me.
Imagine if he one by one defended the briefcase against all of them. Now you have a briefcase that's almost like a title. Defending it 8 times or whatever.
Yeah. It's got more clout than the Universal title.
Yeah. More defendings.
I think I'd be curious to see how he could get up the ladder that quickly. In the dark.
I was thinking that too. It would have to be kind of a long blackout.
Yeah. Oh, the lights! We're still working on it, guys.
Yeah, and then if you imagine if they did lights again and he disappears, you just hear like a huge thump. Well, he slipped. Yeah. Oh god!
But you know what would be even cooler is that if Bray Wyatt doesn't show up, the lights flicker, and then there's Marcy the Buzzer on top of it.
On top of the
puppeteer hanging down.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how they would do it, but just have it there, and then the lights go off again, and then when it comes on, the briefcase is gone.
Well, you could have 2 chains essentially, right? So one would go up with the briefcase, while another one's coming down with Percy or Mercy.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you were talking about the rapper for a second.
Yeah.
But that'd be good. I think that'd be a good way to. I take it back. I think I would like that. I think it'd be a good way to introduce him. I think it'd be a good way to bring in new people.
I take it back.
I take it all back. Like Lars Sullivan.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
So are we going to do AEW right now, or are we going to do...
talk about some stuff. Okay.
But are we going to do the Money in the Bank predictions?
I don't even know the card.
Yeah, here's what I was thinking about that, just in terms of time frame and location and stuff, is maybe, I know Kevin and I both have this weekend off. We can get with Clump and find a time where maybe he can swing by and we can just do a quick prediction show this weekend. Just a little,
I'm off Sunday.
Sunday? So yeah, before it goes on, we could do a prediction before we go on, before it goes up.
Yeah.
Yes, very brief.
What?
I'll make work. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
What does that mean?
I'll text you.
You have a date? Never mind.
I'm off Sunday. We'll figure this. Okay, I will text you.
Yeah, we'll do
his again?
Yeah, but we do like an afternoon one. I'm saying let's just do an afternoon prediction show.
Okay.
Also, as long as we're on the subject, before we go into AEW, because we'll go into our Money in the Bank predictions this Sunday in the afternoon. We'll figure out a time and we'll post the countdown on our clock. But outside of that, next week, Clump doesn't know yet, so it's a surprise to only him. We're going to go early next week on Wednesday because Jake the Snake Roberts is going to be in Tucson across the street from my house. So we're thinking about getting some tickets and going to see that and just going ahead and doing our recap show next week a couple hours early.
Wait, Jake the Snake's going to be in town?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the Screw Theater.
Yeah.
How much do tickets cost?
40. Wait, it's 40
40's for VIP and meet and greet.
Is he doing like a stand-up show?
It's a spoken word, but yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
Well, we already know you have the time off.
Yeah. I got fired.
Nice.
Damn it!
Yeah. But his doors open at 6, which is an hour before we typically go on. So we're thinking we'll go live like 3 or 4 or something like that. We just won't talk about NXT that week.
We're gonna get a little toasty so you can drive us to and from.
Yep. And then we'll go do the Jake the Snake, and maybe we'll review that too. But let's get into AEW. What's going on with AEW? Anything? New shirts?
No. Well, a little bit more
Nope,
new shirts.
nothing? All right, cool. See you guys.
I'll see you next week. See you on Sunday.
Yeah.
AEW did announce a TV deal. It will be on TNT in the fall. We'll see what that in the fall. Yeah. TNT announced their fall lineup this week, and AEW was a big part of that.
I did notice their graphic was the same old Nitro graphic.
Hey, I'm not knocking it. It's okay. Dusty was a big part of WCW.
Yeah.
I like it.
With the fire behind it?
Yeah.
I didn't see the logo. I just like that AEW's on TNT.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's neat. I don't know if TNT has an app like USA does. I don't know if it's going to be as easy for me to see, but they do?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we'll sort that out.
That'll be cool. They also announced Earl Hebner is signed with AEW. I don't know if his brother is signed with AEW, but Earl Hebner will be a ref for AEW. They also signed a female ref named Aubrey Gates, I believe, or Aubrey Gates, as well as Mike Knox, or Bill Knox. Sorry, Bill Knox. Bill Knox is a ref that has worked with the Young Bucks a lot, especially in Southern California.
Yeah.
So they, on Being the Elite, kind of showed a cool bit where they signed Bill in the middle of a match where they were going to sign Joey Ryan. It was funny.
I'm not into Joey Ryan. But Earl Hebner will be important for when they need to screw Cody out of the belt.
Yeah. It was a good bit with Joey Ryan where
I doubt it.
the Bucks came into a show and they said, we're here to celebrate that you got out of your lifetime contract with Lucha Underground. And Joey said, they said, we're here to sign someone. And Joey said, well, I've learned to get lawyers to review my contracts.
Yeah.
And then they said, we're not signing you. And that's when they announced they're going to sign this referee.
The referee? That's cool.
Yeah, it was really neat.
I hope Joey Ryan just mushroom stamps his contracts.
Yeah.
You can have my signature. My signature is a drawing of it.
Nice.
Poorly hidden.
Actual size. Is it in your notes?
That would be what?
Is it in your notes?
My signature?
Yeah.
I can put it in there.
Disgusting. Clump
Are
once
you gonna
said,
string your signature across the picture?
yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't care.
You think? Let's see, lump.
We're gonna see knockoff Clump autographs on eBay now.
Yeah, there you go.
It looks better for important things.
Looks good. Yeah, so the AEW logo they did for the introduction is got a bunch of flames behind it, like the old Nitro. The other thing I thought was interesting is that they've named the show, or no, they haven't named the show or anything, but there's speculation. The name of the show is Tuesday Night Dynamite.
Oh, that's cool.
That is awful, man. That's just like Monday Nitro.
Well, I know that they filed for some copyrights for stuff that was very similar, which is cool. So, okay, I'm excited. We don't know the pricing for the pay-per-view for all Double or Nothing.
We do.
It's not been
Are you guys talking about just that fire in the background?
Yeah.
The AEW? Sorry? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks 100% like Nitro.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. I thought you meant like an actual like logo, not just the AEW with fire.
No. Yeah, no.
But the pricing, Fight has the program there, but there's, it's not, nothing's been officially set yet, so I'm curious to see, because I know we've heard rumors that it would be free through YouTube, or...
Turner announced it was $49 on their show, on their app.
On the Turner app?
Yeah, Turner put out that on the Bleacher Report Live, you can get it for $49.99.
Okay. Do I want to see Jake the Snake, or do I want to watch that while I'm at Comic-Con?
See? That's what I'm saying, man. It's too much.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, if you break it down, that's, a third of a year for the network.
Yeah, it's almost half a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's too much for your first show, and I think if you were going to stream it for free, that's a brilliant move to get people invested early. I think now you're going to be fighting.
I wonder how much of that is them, or is where that comes from.
Yeah.
Just the internet rumor.
Yeah.
Well, or not. If it is that price, what areas it comes from? Because it's on the Turner app. I wonder how much of that comes from Turner or comes from them. It's all.
There's that article about, was it Comcast? Was it that they had All or Nothing accidentally quoted at $4.99?
Yeah, but I think if you got it, it billed you for $49.99. But
yeah,
it was listed there. But a bunch of the ones are listing it as an on-demand thing, and it's $49.99.
Yeah, when I heard that it was going to be free, I was like, that's a brilliant marketing, strategy. Get your name out there, get it out with a bang, draw fans in, and go from there. And
even people who were only partway interested would have seen it. Where now you're only going to get people who definitely want to see it.
Yeah.
No one's gonna throw $50 at someone just to see.
And hope it's good.
Yeah. Just to see what they got,
Because, I was interested in watching it when it was free, and now that it's $50, it's like, well, I'm not going out of my way to watch it, but if one of my buddies gets it and says, hey, throw me some money, I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it, but I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'll do because I'll be at StarCast. They're doing. They announced a screening where it says with familiar faces. So I'm sure they're gonna have some of the stars coming in and out. And it's gonna be like $30 to go in.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I might do that.
I might buy it while I'm on vacation and watch it. We'll see.
You're gonna be a place to spend money, dude.
Yeah, that's also why I'm like, there's a lot of things that we're spending a lot of money on, so I'm kind of like, I don't know where this all falls in.
Yeah.
I could meet Elijah Wood. Looks at things.
Yeah, Blue Boy points out that every time WWE talks about their subscribers and talk about how new subscriptions are free for the first month, that it sounds really good and enticing, or like a good incentive. Like, oh, if I sign up for WWE, I'm going to get at least 1 month for free.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Where you're telling me I can't even get a show for free. I don't know.
Yeah, but also keep in mind WWE can do that because they've already built in so much money they have.
They also don't have to do that because they built into a fan base who will buy.
Yeah.
Where AEW has not. They've built into a fan base, but are they as big to be able to say, we want $50 a month every month? Are you a big enough fan to do that?
Conversely, are they big enough to say we can start?
What?
They don't have the show yet. They don't have the week. They don't have the app yet. You get what I mean? They don't have that monthly revenue coming in that the WWE already has because Kevin, and I all subscribe.
Yeah.
You know, that's 30. We're there, and there's lots of people already have it. If the app was there for it, for AEW, and they had content for it, then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have that level of content there where they can justify it yet. So, or they could justify something being lower free. They might, it's when WWE didn't have an app and they did pay-per-views and it didn't have this content library available. How much was WrestleMania to buy a pay-per-view?
Oh yeah, it was expensive. A lot of people didn't get to see it because of that. They got more watch parties, But that's just it. Is that WWE changed the game? They've changed the dynamic of the wrestling world, and AEW wants to change it again. But are you trying to change it to go backwards? Or are you trying to change it to move forwards?
Well, and I can get that, but I don't know if there's a way. It depends on where they're at spot-wise, I guess. I'm sure there's a lot more to this than we would know on it. But
I'll tell you this: I'm spending $10 a month and getting a pay-per-view a month plus whatever background stuff. So let's say you're being the elite YouTubers on your own channel, and you have $10 a month, and I can see Double or Nothing and see your YouTube videos. I'm gonna be more inclined to buy a T-shirt when you guys say your T-shirts are on sale. WWE gets so much money from me because I spend $10 a month to keep up to date. I keep up to date, and I like people, and I get invested in them. They tell me I can get a shirt for $15 that are normally $30, and I freak out. I go, oh my god, I need to get a couple of shirts. AEW asks for $50 a month, and then asks me to buy a T-shirt. Not happening.
Yeah. I think there's a lot, and they only watch the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So I think if AEW starting off only charges $10 for the pay-per-views every month, people would be buying those.
Yeah. I know a few people who have the network just because they only watch pay-per-views. Yeah, they don't watch the weekly because the other thing is that the pay-per-views will give those vignettes before the show, so you kind of get a highlight reel anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a friend I met and made at Royal Rumble and then again at ToyCon, and she spends so much money on the WWE. She doesn't watch the weekly programming at all. She just subscribes to the network, watches the stuff she wants to watch, and watches the pay-per-views, and that is it. And she spends a lot. She was pretty close on Royal Rumble, you give them something cheap and they'll spend the money. But if you ask for money up front, that's just how I see it.
Yeah. You give them a taste and then let them get addicted.
Yeah.
To an extent, and I get what you guys mean. I understand it. I could see that happening when they have more content. Because even being the elite stuff, they're 20-minute episodes and they're not really wrestling. They're basically would be their vignettes, and a lot of it's not relevant right now. If they when they have more content, I could see them going that pathway where maybe it is totally free, maybe it's even cheaper. But right now, they're partnering with Turner, which is a good business move, to get more eyes on it. I do agree too. I don't think 50 is. I would if it were $20, great. I would give them that much more.
Oh yeah.
But 50 is a lot.
20.
But I also imagine that there's reasoning behind it. I think that it is what it is. It's if when you have that large of a library that WWE has, where you can have all these people coming in for different things, and whether it be the original content, whether it be like me, who I watch pay-per-views and Old Royal Rumbles and ECWs, then you can do that because you can subsidize it because you have that many hours on there that are watching and that many people that are paying for it. That it's $10 a month. But when you have, I'm not going to pay $10 a month for rerunning one pay-per-view and waiting till the fall for more new content.
Yeah, but if you're going to get the next one too, you know what I mean? Then I could see investing early. And that's just it. I'm not saying all their things should be free or make it $10 every month, but you're the very first one. You're really trying to come out the gate. What are you trying to prove right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do you want more viewers to watch your weekly show, or do you want more people to buy in on your first show? Because I feel like that's going to be your trade-off. You're either going to have a bunch of people pay to watch, and then they'll continue to watch, but you're going to lose a lot of people who are not putting that money up front.
Yeah, well, see, I think what they should do even is do a subscription.
Yeah.
You know, hey, if you sign up for a year contract, each pay-per-view is going to be $15, $20, let's say. If you don't, each pay-per-view by itself is going to be $50.
Yeah.
Another option I could see too would be, so part of it, I think part of it also why it hasn't gone the way of a subscription with them, or maybe they can't even at this point, is, again, they're not an established brand. They need the network audience. They want a TV audience and a weekly show, but they could have, another option is they could have gone through YouTube directly. They just podcast their show on YouTube every week.
Yeah.
But they want to do a network because I think that's a large portion of this fan base is still, for wrestling overall, is still watching it on TV. They're still watching it through cable.
Yeah.
And
well, it's a camaraderie of the commercials.
Mm-hmm. But whereas WWE can say, we have this established show and brand, we have our own streaming service, and we're going to offer this production and everything there to your network. Will you bid on it? They can't. They kind of have to pitch it like a show still. Say, I have a show. This is new.
Yeah.
Can we do this?
That's why I thought the Fight app would have been best for them, because the way that the Fight app puts up Ring of Honor and puts up Reality of Wrestling, and then that's where you get the G1 card and stuff. Like, I thought that would be the way to go. I'll watch it if it's on the Fight app, but
I think partly so. I know that Ring of Honor and NJPW and AEW are not working together very well.
Yeah.
I think that, and I don't know where that. I think they could have. I think because of how they lost a lot of talent, both sides maybe aren't working with each other deliberately, and it might be a lot of things. It might be things that we don't know, but I think it's just a summation of everything. You know why it's had to go this way. I don't think that $50 is the right route. I think it could be a lot cheaper. I hope in time they develop enough of a library where they can create their own app. But right now they have to prove something, you know?
Well, see, I think, going back to it, I think if you have the first one low, even just say, hey, this is a, introductory price, it's this much, you then automatically have the fan base and the following, hey, we're going to watch TNT. We're going to, now watch this. We want to see where this goes.
Yeah.
And, they were very cocky about selling out, what was it? All In. It sold out in, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. All of them were, same thing's going to happen, double or nothing. We're going to break it, this and that. And what it was is, a lot of people were buying tickets to put on the third-party market, and they didn't have that this time. And then I think they were kind of caught with their pants down. So then to turn around and hear this pay-per-view deal that the first one's $50 right off the bat, it's like,
yeah,
you guys got to build something up first before charging premium prices.
They're still like pitching the idea that Double or Nothing is sold out and you can't go, but if you look, tickets are completely available. A lot of tickets are available because a lot of people bought it wanting that demand to go up and saying, hey, we can make a buck. Problem is no one's making a buck on those tickets. There's still a lot of tickets available, and the prices for those have gone back down to the regular prices. So, like, I don't think that they have the demand they think they have. I think there is a demand for sure. I definitely want to see it, but I don't want you to price me out of it.
Yeah.
And that's my concern, is that they're getting to a point of, like he said, being a little bit too cocky and not being as inviting as I think they could be to get everybody.
When it sucks that this is being affected by something like money. It's what's needed, but it suck. I think that I want to see it succeed. I want to see this continue on. But yeah, it's kind of hard to follow up something that was really to follow up that first one, and I think we're seeing that. And I think that's again, I don't know if they could have built up that subscriber base with where they're at, because the other thing I think of a lot when we talk about this is with that market that they need to reach out to, they want, you know, I don't know if they're not going to get raw ratings. They're not going to get SmackDown ratings, but they want to have ratings. And a lot of people who wrestling is very popular, especially like, you know, indie shows or SmackDown tours through. They want to build that market, and I don't know if they're not going to be able to reach to them as well as they would with internet only.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Broadband access is more limited in a lot of this country, so they need a cable provider, essentially, some kind of TV outlet.
Yeah, for sure.
And because they don't have that, you know, we've already established this, and it's kind of hard to establish it through an internet marketing or through an internet-based like option where they're at. They kind of have to be at the behest of a cable company.
Yeah.
And if the cable company wants to do something like this, or those are the terms of the agreement or where they're at, that might be the best route to do it. I just hope it doesn't torpedo them moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see where it goes, and I want them to do well. I really do. And I'm clearly not the businessman they are because I don't own any of the things they own. But I do have a little bit of concern about how they're coming out. I think that's good.
Yeah.
If there's anything else you wanted to make sure you touched on, I think next week, because we'll be getting closer to StarCast, I think I'll talk a little bit more about the Tom McGee and Bret Hart thing, the Holy Grail video they put out. I did watch it. If you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and watch it. But I think apart from that, we'll hit that up next week.
Cool. Well, you guys have a good night.
That sounds good. We'll see you guys all back here on Sunday. Kevlar, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Kevlar's got no social media, so don't worry about it. Clump either. He sucks. I am on Twitter at RefMarsh. I am on Instagram at MarshRef. Did Clump hang up?
I think so.
He totally hung up on us. That's insane. No, he
yeah,
hung up.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
See ya. Bye.
Yeah, wow. All right. Well, Kevlar, you have a good night. Everyone, all of our fans, have a good night. Both of you. We'll see you guys on Sunday.
Good night. Cheers.
Cheers.